Well, yeah, okay. So from SmackDown, there's an ongoing feud which is gonna go into the pay-per-view between the Bloodline, which at this point consists of Solo and Tama Tonga and Paul Heyman, right? And they're
Yeah.
feuding with KO and Randy Orton. So they had a big
Yep.
brawl to start, and I think that also ended the show too, right? Oh, and then this is what I mentioned earlier about how to go off the air, the Bloodline and KO and Randy Orton continued their brawl, and that's what started Backlash. Let's jump to Backlash. So let me pull that up. So we're starting with the Bloodline match. That was the opening match against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, right? So they're facing off, and this has been going on, popping off for the recent weeks. And I'm skipping forward, but the match couldn't really start because it was like too much of
A brawl.
A brawl, yeah,
Chaos.
It was chaos. And Nick Aldis came out and declared it a street fight, right? And that's how the match started. And then there was no rules, and then they fought into the crowd. And then 20 minutes later, I guess somehow the match was gonna end with, what the fuck was that? What do you call that? A spine buster or something? Like a neck?
I don't know. That's not a spine buster. I don't know what it is, but
okay, KO with a big move off the top rope, some kind of suplex.
Throwing him on the chair.
He threw Tama Tonga onto the chair, and he was gonna pin him. And I guess this was gonna be the end. And then, very much Bloodline style, some member of the Bloodline pulled the referee out, and this is a new guy. Anyone catch a name?
Tonga Loa.
Okay, Tama Tonga's brother.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So then, so Solo's gonna win because of this, and man, Kevin Owens really sold that that finger spike, dude. That was really good. Really put him over there. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play this again. Look at this. Nice. KO is a good wrestler. Good wrestler. Nice selling right there. All right, so we got a new character. Not the character I was expecting. I didn't even know who the hell this guy was. But yeah, Paul Heyman was there looking all surprised that there's yet another Bloodline member that he knew nothing about. So
Paul's so great in this role. But anyways, yes.
So any thoughts from you guys about this feud so far, or the new member? Should we start with Vlad?
Oh, go yeah.
Or no, Robert, you were already going. You go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. So I thought for sure the Bloodline was gonna win this. To me there was no way Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were gonna win. Because first of all, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens at this point they gain nothing from a victory. Like they don't gain anything from beating the Bloodline in this match. The Bloodline has to still establish themselves as a legitimate stable in the absence of Roman Reigns, right? So they needed this victory a lot more than Randy Orton and Kevin Owens did. Couple things when Tonga Loa showed up. So, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, they in New Japan they were part of Bullet Club, and they were also a part of another group called the Gorillas of Destiny. So post match, one of the commentators, I don't remember who said it, but one of them said during the post match scuffle, it's guerrilla warfare here. Destiny has brought Tonga Loa over to WWE, and then I laughed at that. You know, I know. So it's like for people who don't know Tama Tonga,
that must have been Corey Graves, because I doubt Michael Cole.
Probably, yeah. So
I doubt Michael Cole knows anything about Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, so that might have sounded like a very random thing to say, right? But then that was actually a reference to their stable in New Japan. I thought that was pretty interesting. Paul Heyman at the end, the way he raised his hand, his finger, all nervous. that I got a laugh out of that too, man. Paul Heyman is the best. But yeah, it was a predictable. There you go. Yeah, just like it was hilarious.
Or show his face when Tonga Loa first came out. like when he was, oh, that was great too. I mean, all of his faces were great. But you don't have to show it. You don't have to, but it was funny. I mean,
I do remember that.
And then the crowd, at some point during the match, I heard the "We Want Roman" chants.
Oh yeah,
that's been an ongoing thing recently. That's interesting. But yeah, predictable results. For sure, I knew that the Bloodline was going to win, and then as soon as what's his name, Nick Aldis? Is that his name? As soon as he mentioned that this would be like a street fight, I knew right away. Okay, there's going to be a new Bloodline member showing up. Then, like that, I knew for sure it was going to happen during this match.
All right, Vlad, so a little bit of an advancement in the Bloodline storyline. I guess we got a new member. That's something. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about this?
I love it, man. I thought this was great. I thought the whole thing was great. Obviously I don't...
Solo?
It's hard to... Well, I think Robert made
Solo's doing good, huh? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, Solo's doing great. I was saying Robert made a great point about they have to kind of try to find some sort of legitimacy for this new Bloodline group, this group that's kind of led by Solo and not Roman, right? So they had to give him this key win against established stars like Randy and Kevin Owens, right? So I thought it was an entertaining match, as much as it can be, given that it's like kind of a quote unquote garbage match. It was entertaining. It kept my attention. I also thought there would be a new member, but I think we were all waiting for, well, at least I was. I'm waiting for Jacob too, but another member. Okay, so I don't know if that means they'll have even more members. I think probably. What does that mean down the line for Roman? I don't have any idea. Like, is he going to have his own group? I don't even. Where are they going to find all these Samoans? Where are they going to find more people? I don't understand. How many different Samoans are in wrestling right now that they can actually just plug in there? I don't even know. It's a great question. I don't have the answers to that because I'm not familiar with how many are actually currently in the group. But I assume the Usos will also get back into this feud, at some point as well. But anyways, I was entertained. Bottom line, I don't want to take up again too much time since we're kind of short on the amount of time we can talk about stuff. But I did enjoy this.
All right, so let me move on then with the podcast. I guess I'm the host. Oh, one thing I was going to say about the Bloodline stuff that I forgot to mention is that I don't think Solo is the leader of the Bloodline. I think The Rock is the leader of the Bloodline.
Oh, I see. This is all coming. Like, this is going to be the reveal that it's all coming from The Rock.
Yes.
That's a good point. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys thought about that yet?
I didn't think about that.
I did not, but that makes sense. That would make sense, especially once they bring The Rock back. Yeah.
You heard it here first on the Malapert Smark podcast.
Yes, we did.
Inside information. That's not meaning inside from the wrestling business. It means inside from Kahan's soul. So I can feel it. I can feel it. This is The Rock. Why else would Solo be so confident going in there like that? I think he has instructions from somebody. That's why he's not listening or caring about Paul Heyman. And he's not saying anything. And he's doing his job perfectly. Perfectly well.
He knows his role.
Yes.
He knows his role, exactly.
All right, let's see what we got next. Oh, this is actually part of the same storyline. Jey Uso, they bumped into him in the back. He was getting ready for his world title match against Damian Priest. And I don't think anything happened here. I think they all just looked at each other, right?
Looked at each other, yeah.
The new Bloodline bumped into him. They all just looked at each other. Like a bunch of his cousins just walked by.
Yeah, basically. So Solo is actually his brother.
I think it's probably important to point out that in SmackDown, there was a segment featuring Paul Heyman where he admitted that Roman Reigns didn't actually pull himself out of the draft.
Yeah.
That I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah,
Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was told to pull Roman Reigns' name out of the draft.
No, he said he did it himself. He hasn't talked to Roman.
Or he did it himself. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
He said he hasn't talked to Roman since WrestleMania, and that he pulled Roman out of the draft because it was just too much chaos for him to deal with right now. So Roman is just on his own, just being, isolated or something, being depressed.
Yeah,
I don't know, thinking.
He's depressed. He's depressed. Of course, he lost the title,
Yeah,
so he's depressed.
it'd be weird. Yeah, when you think you're gonna be champion forever and then you lose it all of a sudden. Yeah, it's like losing your girlfriend or your wife. It'll take some time for him to come back. But anyways,
Yeah.
moving along. I think that's all the Bloodline business we have.